Well, during basketball season, especially this early in the season, I don't really talk a lot unless there's a story that comes out. Yeah, i.e., someone passes or, some scandal or a milestone. But I couldn't pass up talking about OKC spanking Golden State. And I also want to address, with Steph Curry. I think he's one of the 10 greatest players ever. And I'm not copping any excuses about him, for low management. I will say this: if he was ill, he was ill. But then again, I'd be ill too because I'll tell you why. They have not a chance. I had a live stream. Anybody who watches my live stream, I was asked point blank because one of the cats on there happens to be a Golden State Warriors fan. And he asked me point blank, he said, "Do I think you have a chance against OKC?" I said, "No, you don't." And did my words, I'm not saying that I was some kind of Stradamus, but it really, that was like so much of yesterday versus today. And watching that game, you can see, yeah, y'all were the standard 10 years ago, but this is the standard today. Steph is Steph, you and he's on, but you can't do nothing when you can't play defense, and you can't do nothing when the guys got size. They're more athletic. They are what you were 10 years ago. Now, Steph ain't fell off the cliff. He's still legit. He still could play a couple more years. I think he could probably retire when he's 40. Imagine him have 30,000 points. He'll stock some numbers up, which will only enhance his case. You know, if he was to somehow win another ring, we might be having a top five discussion ever because this would be a Hercules type of performance with that squad. Because as long as you got Draymond Green on your team, I have to rank you, put you higher because I don't have no expectations. They're very average at best. Steve Kerr is being out coached. He's got Kamingas in, but they really don't have that firepower. I get asked all the time when I have basketball discussions, do I think they could come back? Because I know deep down, listen, Golden State winning and being in a position of success is great for the NBA. Are we kidding? Because the Splash Brothers, they had us spoiled because they were the Renegades. They were the Warriors. They were like a team that was anti against the establishment because they didn't have a true center. They were undersized wonder men who could just shoot and beat you in directions and wear you down. And now it's come to a crash course ending. Jimmy Butler, who I like, even though, I tell this all the time because the cat was on me last night about, you think Jimmy Butler gonna have anything against Shea? I said, no. I said, because he can't match him on the perimeter. I said, defensively to an extent. I said, but he can't match him on offense. And that's not why you get Jimmy Butler. See, the elephant in the room is this. If Golden State was like the Lakers or something who could try to attract a big name, you already know that a Giannis would be sick in Golden State. I'm telling you right now, you're playing GM. This is what my buddies and I used to do all the time back in the 90s. Sit around and say, who do you think would make that team? That would give Curry a legit 2 years. And not just where he's just, playing till he's 40, where he's pushing 30,000 points. I'm talking about a legit 2 years where he would be not where he was with when he played with Durant, but enough where he would be scary enough where he could go off and one of them vintage. But what they got now is they're constructed. They're a play-in tournament team, mediocre third tiers team. And OKC is like men against boys when they play it. And this ain't even at full tilt. Because remember, they're missing two people. And I keep telling people all the time, Chad Holmgren is the X factor. Einstein has been a big asset, get Alice Caruso. But if Chad Holmgren can ball the half like he did last night, he's not gonna be in the conversation, with Jokic, and he's not gonna be seen as like this, you know, like this guy like that. But if he plays at a level, because I said last year they stole a ring and he really got a first clip of the postseason. He plays and stays healthy. That is gonna be a dynasty. That's your next dynasty right there because they only almost under the radar with how they win. And SGA is still the best player going. All he does is just crack 20 points, gets his free throws, stays aggressive, plays defense, and he beats you. They're athletic, they're deep, they are the best team in the West. It's them and it's everybody else. As long as everybody's healthy and focused, that's the squad. This is like watching today, and Golden State's like watching 10 years ago. And I don't know if they'll break the record for most wins in the season because that's a bit premature, but I'll tell you this much. they look poised. They look like they look like they've been disrespected, which they have. And like I said, I'm not gonna do a whole lot of talking about what I see every 99 games unless something really stands out. But this was a contrast to me, you know. And I believe Steph was under some bug or something but for two bugs. The one bug, he probably did get sick for real. And the second bug, that bug that what he's got as a crew against a legit team, they got to play the Denvers, they got to play the OKCs every night. They ain't going to make no noise. They ain't going to be a playing team if not headed towards a lottery, especially if someone gets sick because they don't have enough juice to offset, you know. And I think we want to see Steph do well because, again, it's good for the viewership and the ratings. And he's the reason, for better or for worse, of the basketball we've seen in the last 10 years when more everybody can shoot threes or play a certain way. But now they're no longer the standard. And I keep telling folks the old guard is going down. I'm telling you, you know, because you look at him and you look at Durant, Harden. I don't know what's going to happen with LeBron with the Lakers, but, you know, that whole thing. Luka them playing all right, but they're not running things. SGA and others are the standards of today, and it was evident in that blowout last night. So OKC is the legit championship team. They are today. Golden State is yesterday, and I hope that, you know, let's Golden State can pull a rabbit out the hat because, look, Clay ain't the only one y'all should let go. Y'all stuck with Draymond. Y'all just don't. Y'all have an old, and you got Al Horford, who's about 68, who I understand why you got him, but you act like you getting Al Horford when y'all had beat Boston a few years ago. You're nowhere near that team. And the truth is, you really ain't quite been the same since Jordan Poole got punched by Draymond Green. The donkey punched Jordan Poole, and they haven't been up for the count since. It's almost like they've been hit with karma curse. So enjoy your decade run, and y'all were the last NBA dynasty, but you seeing what they say. You're going up against today, and you're yesterday's news. So that's my message to Steph Curry. I mean, if he chooses to take some more days off or needs to, I ain't mad at him because he got to look at this real good. Yeah, him and Jimmy Butler are going to win a few games, but they are not a contender. Unless they make a blockbuster trade and get somebody, they're not going to be much of anything but a play-in and more closer to a ping pong team because against the heavyweights, they don't rank at all. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm on one time. Peace.